I was like, oh, I fancy a go at that. And he's on the 100 bike in 14th.
Family affair. There was 3 of them out earlier in one of the other races.
TV 500s.
Yes, that was it, mate.
And
there we go.
And Abigail as well. She's on the 500. So there's 4 of them out there on that grid.
And here we go. And Alan Cooper's got the cold shot. Closely followed by, I'm not sure who that was, but he's got in front of
Mark Hay.
Just got in front of David Ball. So that's the 1, 2, 3. Alan Cooper, David Ball. Mark Hagan, David Ball.
Yeah, Mark Hayes come from an Aprilia RS 250. He's been running them for the last couple of years in the 400s. He gets his work done by Andy Ball up at 2T Engineering, and we've seen him around the paddock, and we've always been saying, come and give it a go on a TZI. I'm sure you'll love it. He's a very good rider, and he's eventually made the jump. He bought a bike off Jeff Mook last year. He's done some work on it, and he's going really well. This is his 3rd meeting in, and he's impressing.
And look at the TZR freight train here. It's normal systems restored here as they tear into Agostini. This is about 5, 6 or 7 bikes all trying to enter the corner at once.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that Mark Hay out in front there? Has he got past Alan Cooper? It looks like he has. There's only chance of him in the paddock yesterday. He's not that fond of this circuit, but he's for somebody not fond of it, he's looking like he's enjoying himself.
Well, as we've been saying all the time we've been up here, it's so difficult with the distance here to actually work out who's who. We really need to study more paint jobs, Pete.
Yeah. Everybody should have their own paint job. We need maybe a little bit like the jockeys in the horse racing.
We need the right colours that are easily distinguishable from 200 yards away.
Yeah, I'm going to one more shout out to the wonderful Karen Oakley, who should be on the mound over there at the bottom of Agostini's, I think. So if you're watching, Karen, hope you're enjoying it. Bit windy.
Yeah, there was some changes of order as they went down the straight. Somebody really got the drive out of I think it's Wilson's not Wilson's, the corner onto the back straight. And now they're coming through the bomb hole round corner. This is the first time they're going to experience that wind at full race chat.
Yeah, and it's looking like a white bike in front. That possibly be Alan Cooper.
Well, it could be, or it could be Max McRae. Let's have a look.
Oh, it could be Max, of course, yeah. I think Len Whalen will be jumping up and down on the pit wall. Yeah, that's
Alan Cooper.
That's Alan. And look at Taffy. Taffy is taking the lead and going into turn 1 ahead. This is brilliant stuff. He literally blew past Cooper, taking his paint off. Yeah. Well, he'll be saying, I'm glad I've made that engine swap at the moment.
Well, we're on the 2nd lap, so it's all good so far. Keep it going, Andy.
Exactly, yeah. So what have we got with the clubmen? So obviously Max is there in 4th place, leading the clubman at the moment, with Mark Hay in 2nd, and Alan Bushell, who's only from up the road actually. He's jumped from an RD 250 a couple of years back and onto a TZR now, and he's a really good rider also. And then Tom Ridley, who is actually a rookie still, but he wanted to jump into the Clubman Championship because the amount of rookies that we've got in the class at the moment is quite few, and he is a top 10 rider, so he's jumped into the Clubman Championship and he's currently running 4th. So that's again a good rider and a good prospect for this class.
Well, I'll tell you something, Andy Bursko is not losing any ground on the infield at the moment. He's all a little bit there, but as we go back out onto the back straight, I anticipate his bike's striding away from the others because he has a good horsepower bike in that motor.
He has, yeah, and the thing is as well with the 350 power valve, they've always been renowned for having the sort of poorer handling, so it's always been harder thing to haul around. But because now with the rules that changed some years back in the YPMs when we went to wets, we had to allow the power valves to run TZR running gear, which allows them to also run wet, so it's a fair level playing field. So he has got TZR forks, wheels, brakes, tyres on the front, and a TZR rear on the rear.
We mustn't get away from the fact though he's still running that spring frame that comes with the power valve. It just calls itself up when you wind the power on and then lets it go when you don't expect it. Oh, there's an overtake there. Someone went for the inside, but they've run wide onto the grass.
Yeah, I can't see who that is at the moment. We'll find out. He's rejoined the track, so he's
I think he went for the lead overtake there, and he's overcooked it.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was. But that has put Max McRae up, I think, up into third place.
Yeah, I think, you know what, that might have been Dave Ball, because he's dropped to 6th.
Yeah, it possibly was.
Yeah, and that must have been Dave Ball, because his last lap was a 2:16 compared to 2:13s for all the guys above him. So there's your 3 seconds in the dirt. He is back on track though, so he's going to start hunting them down again.
Yeah, I know Garage 7 has got a battle between them with Martin Pearson, Colvin Turner and Mark Elleray, and I'm just looking at that, and at the minute it looks like Colvin is leading now. He's currently in 14th place with Martin Pearson in 17th, so I'm sure that battle will continue.
Got to say, I don't think Andrew Bursko's bike, it's probably his second motor, so it doesn't look like it's got that big a power advantage over the TZRs. So there's a lot to be said for the way Andy's riding here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've ridden and raced against Andy here many times, and you almost had to be tactical. You had to get ahead of him as soon as possible in this infield, and if you could stay ahead of him by the S's, you could break him.
They are breaking away, actually. Those first two are actually breaking away. Burskov and Cooper. Cooper's not giving up on this. He's determined not to let him get away.
Well, obviously, Alan Cooper, he's a top runner in this class. He didn't come out last year, maybe apart from early on in the year, but he had a bad accident at Cadwell and broke his ankle or bottom of his leg, that's for sure. So he was out of the action for the rest of the year. But the Twist Grip motorcycles, obviously Kev Woolley, he's won the championship twice now. These are good bikes looked after again by Andy Ball at 2T Engineering.
Very fast riders.
Yeah, and Alan, he's like a wiry old fox. He looks
like he's sizing this up, to be honest, because he's right with Andrew Burskov here.
Well, this has got Kev Woolley's tactics written all over it, right?
Yeah, I think you could see there that out of the stop-go last chicane, like you could actually see that's where the grunt of Andy's bike counts. Just straight off the turn, he really powered it up this start-finish straight, and to the extent that Cooper he hung close to the pit wall to try and maximise the bounce of the wind off the pit wall.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing as well, this is the longest straight, right? It's longer. The back straight from the 300 is much shorter than it is on the 200 and the old Snetterton as we used to know it. And this is a little bit uphill, and with that torque, that's going to pull him up this straight that much better. Yeah. As you say, he's just making a little bit of a gap that possibly then gets eaten into through the rest of the track. But if he can keep that gap strong on this first straight, then hopefully he can hold the lead all the way around.
Well, I've just noticed actually that Andrew Burskov did set the fastest lap on the last lap of 2 minutes 12.951. So that is significantly faster. That's like half a second, just under half a second faster than second place.
Yeah, no, that is good stuff. And honestly, that guy in his gloves, his hands are black, full of oil, everything. He's just jumped straight into his leathers, boots lid gone.
He's a proper club racer.
Yeah, he really is.
He puts everything into that 350, heart and soul.
So I'm just looking at the 100 bikes, currently in 13th place. So he's running around at a 224. I know he can do more than that. He was a 221 in qualifying. So maybe he's got some sort of issues at the minute. Next place above is Paul Neild, who was second in last year's rookie championship. He's currently running in 12th place there, and he's doing well. He had some instruction yesterday from Kev Woolley, so that's a good bit of tutoring. I think that's working well. Yeah,
I think there's a bit of a gap there that's appeared between Andrew Burskov and second place. So I'm not sure if I can't tell at the moment if we've lost someone.
No, I don't. I think Alan was there, but Bursko's he's taking the last lap flag now. He needed somebody on that pit wall to give him some level. I hope he understands that there's nobody right on his tail, and he keeps this thing together.
This will be another fastest lap in there. He is putting the hammer down.
This will be an amazing win. It really will be. If he can see this all the way through to the end of this lap.
I'll be so pleased with this, Pete, because that man, as I said earlier, he puts everything into his bikes, his engines. Like, he has troubles every now and then, like he had this morning, but to get this all back together with the assistance, as is always the case in the YPN class, with his fellow comrades, he's now out there, and the way this is going, he's going to win this.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And he normally turns up with his brother, but he's here on his own. And, you know, sometimes it's easy just to, do you know what, I'm just going to throw the towel in. But spare engine, get that swap done. Lunchtime helped him, just giving that extra little bit of time.
Because you were saying this was the very last minute of minutes to get out there.
I said to him, he was still putting the fare on. I said, they've had the first call. And he's like, I'm done, aren't I? He was like, it's looking tight. And then he disappears. He comes back in his leathers. He's like, oh, you're going out. So fair play to the lad.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So Andy Ball's actually in second. David Ball's in second place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Alan Cooper has dropped.
Yeah, I don't know where. I couldn't see anything on the cameras because it's hard to see them in here.
So it's looking like Mark Hayes in third place at the moment, and Paul Whitby in fourth, Alan Bushell in fifth, and Tom Ridley, the super rookie, in sixth.
I'm trying to work out exactly where Andy Burskoff is at the moment, because from here we can't see the backside of the track. Sorry, the very back of it. And so, yeah, here he is. This looks like him coming around Corums now. He's only got the rest of that corner and the last one to go to celebrate a great victory.
Yeah, keep it up right in this last one. Yeah, I think there might be tears in this lad's eyes after this checkered flag.
100%. I can't wait to see this man's face.
Yeah. This is brilliant. Well done, Andy.
What a fantastic victory.
Flag. Look at that. That is super.
He celebrates like Kevin Swans completely justifiably.
Yeah. With a look behind. And that was David Ball in second. Mr. Consistency.
Another fastest lap on the last lap as well.
Paul Whitby takes third place in that. That's brilliant. With Mark Hay just half a second behind him. The birthday boy, Damien Lee, just crossed the line in eighth. And the first clubman was Mark Hay, Alan Bushell and Tom Ridley were the top three clubmans. We're still waiting for the last few, I think, to come over the line. So there's Ollie McRae, but I don't know if he's got a problem with his timer. I'm not too sure. He had an exclamation mark against his name, so I don't know what's going on there.
Max McRae.
Max McRae. There's something at the bottom there.